Brightest Blessings. This is Raven, and today we are going to work on the inside of the Mermaid journal that we looked at in the last video. So I've actually finished the cover completely and I've put the signatures in. I decided not to sew the signatures in the end, and I'll show you why in a moment. But on the cover I've added some flat-backed pearls, some of the loose pieces in the decorative kit that it came with. This was a sticker, as was this one, and I've left the back plain. I've got some really pretty sari silk here to get it all together. See, every time with the sari silk, it was the same in the last video, where I end up with 500,000 strands and I can't open it. There's obviously a tack that I just don't have. There we go. So yeah, inside I changed my mind about the paper. I was originally going to use this side, and I decided against it purely because I wanted more blue. With it being an ocean themed journal, there's a lot of purple on here, and although there's a lot of purple in the journal, I wanted more blue. So yeah, that's that. And then I've put all the signatures in. I haven't added anything to them as of yet. That's not to say that I won't, because there is plenty of room to add more. The idea of not sewing the signatures was so that whoever gets this Book of Shadows can move the pages around. It's as easy as just taking a page out. The only thing I will say to them is that they need to make sure they've got this thicker paper cardstock on the outside and inside, just to protect it from the elastics. But otherwise, everything has come together nicely. You can see it folds out nice and flat. There is still quite a bit of pull in my elastics, and I do that because once I start decorating, I would probably end up adding more pages. But it's also the case that whoever takes this journal on might want to add more pages too. So that is that, people. So we'll put this back together. We're going to make some ephemera and things to go inside this. I'm not going to do this up completely, just enough to stop it waggling around. Move things out of the way. There we go. Right. Big giant glue book I am likely going to need. I've also got some archival distress inks for going around the outsides, scissors, my ink daubers, and all of this was what I showed you that I'd collected together. Most of it is made by me, so these sorts of coloured ones, these are all my digitals. If it's something you're interested in, let me know and I'll stick them on the Patreon. I've loosely cut them out because I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. These were from years and years ago. I may use these with something. I haven't decided. They sort of fit with the theme of the journal, so I think they would be good to use, and it's something else out of my stash. I've got some different fussy cut bits and bobs that I can fussy cut to add. So like with these, obviously the seahorse is a little bit big, but I could cut around the seahorse and just pop that on there. Yeah, but we're not going to get everything done in this journal today, because as many of you will know, if you make journals or ephemera yourself, it takes quite a long time, and I don't always know what I'm going to use, what I'm not going to use. And these aren't all of the images that I've got either. These were just the ones that sort of seemed to fit with this journal a little bit better, because a lot of the other bits that I've got are more vintage style mermaids. So yeah, we've got all of those, which will obviously need to be cut out and glued, which is a little bit boring, guys, but unfortunately that's part and parcel of making journals. And then the kit from Graphic 45 actually comes with pages such as this, where you can cut bits out to make journal cards or decorations. So that's a nice page to use. It also comes with journal cards, so obviously these need to be cut, and on the back they are also decorated to be journal cards. So aren't they lovely? Normally with Graphic 45 they sell the journal cards separately, and I do normally purchase those, but I haven't found these yet. If you've got them or know where to get them, please do send me a link, because I like to purchase the separate cards as well. And then I've just picked a few papers from the collection that are a little bit interesting on one side and nice and plain on the back side, so that we can use those for tags. We've also obviously got scraps from the cover, and I will always use as many of my scraps as possible before cutting into other things. So this one is going to be a little bit tricky for me, because I really don't want to cut into any of the images, but I'm thinking this would actually make a really nice long tag that would fit in there quite nicely. So yeah, I think that one would be quite lovely actually. And then we've got these as well, which are lovely as they are to make tags either side, but because there's something on both sides that you can't really write on it, these would need to be backed with paper. I'm just going to take a sip of my drink and then we will make a start. I'm still covered in coffee because I ended up doing about 600 pages yesterday, and I think 5 or 6 covers for new journals. When I'm going to an event like the pagan camp that I'm going to be going to, I tend to mass make, so I will mass make journals in one session, as in the covers. So I basically sat and made 5 or 6 covers yesterday morning, and then in the afternoon I tea and coffee and ink dyed about 600 odd pages ready to fill into those. And we also went to go and visit a little dog, on the off chance that we may perhaps be getting Douglas a sister. So we will have to wait and see. So I think I'm going to start with this one. Now, paper trimmer, where have you disappeared to? I'm looking everywhere and cannot see my paper trimmer, which is typical. I thought I'd got everything sorted. Perhaps my daughter's stolen it, more than likely. No matter. I'll get my other one. Excuse my clattering. Oh dear. Yeah, so I don't really like using this one very much. But hey ho. Hopefully I'm in screen, because I've bought this new big purple mat. I'm using this little one as sort of a guide. So yeah, I don't really want to cut off any of the tail or anything, so I'm going to chop it there, I think. And that's a bit too long for my liking, so I'm thinking about there. Move this to the side for a second. So now we've got a few more little scraps that can be used somewhere, probably not in this journal, but in another one. And I keep all of my scraps. So this is a lovely big piece now. I think what I will do is cut the corners. I'm actually going to cut this side first because of her hair. So what I tend to do is cut one side, turn it over the piece that we've cut off, and put it to that corner. So then they are matching. Lovely jubbly. And then I think we will put a little hole in there. Get my hole punch. Actually, no, we'll wait because I'm going to back that. Let me just find... Here we go, we've got some of that nice thin paper. So I tend to deconstruct books like this and reuse the covers. So who knows, this was probably the cover of one of the journals you'll see. And I don't throw any of these away either, they just get folded up and reused to make pockets and things. A generous amount of glue. Try and line that up so that it's not going off page. And then just using my little squeegee. I'll put that on. Put that over. So we end up with 500,000 things when we're making ephemera out on your desk. So it's always a good idea to make sure you've got everything prepared, which I obviously didn't do a very good job of today. So yeah, yesterday we went to go and meet this little doggy. Her name is Dana, but she's only had that name for a few weeks. She was actually an abandoned dog with no history whatsoever. So I took the girls over to see her, and Douglas obviously. She's a lovely, sweet little girl. We're just waiting for home checks and things now to see if that goes forward, so that then Douglas has a sister. She's a sweet little thing. I'm very much looking forward to getting her. Move my little bin. Right. Make sure that that's properly down. Now I could have gone with cardstock on the back of these, but because this paper is a little bit thicker, I decided not to bother. Plus I haven't got any cardstock in this colour. It's not normally colours that I use, even though purples are my favourite colours. So let's put a hole punch. Sorry, I'm going to keep going off camera. I'm going to try not to. Make sure I've got the centre about there. And then I've already got some little eyelets ready. There we go. And then I think we'll go around that in the dark blue. And this is really going to make it pop. So you can already see the difference if I hold it up between where it's been inked and where it hasn't. It just helps finish off what you're doing. And generally what I'll end up doing if I'm not on camera is making everything and then spending an hour just inking everything. I'm much more of a mass make person, to be honest. And then this side I think we'll go with the purple. Now a lot of people won't do two colours on one, but I don't see the issue. Douglas is playing with a cardboard box, so if you hear that in the background, he's decided his favourite toy is a cardboard box. Well, I hope you're all doing well. I'm really struggling with the weather changing every 5 seconds in the UK at the moment. One minute it's blistering heat and the next minute it's pouring it down with rain, and the fibromyalgia just doesn't cope well with things like that. It really doesn't. So that is our first piece of ephemera done. Nice and easy, guys. Nice and easy. Another little sip. Right. We've got these two. I'm thinking perhaps a journal card. That's a nice size. And that could be either side really. But I think I'm going to go with that side. I'm going to make this one a chunky tag. No, actually, I'm going to make it a long journal card because I like the mermaid up here. This one will make a long tag, I think. Not quite as long as the other one that we've just done. And we'll use this side. So again, cut the corner, turn it over, place it on the other side, she says, being all fiddly. There we go. And then this one, I think I'm going to turn into a little tuck spot stroke pocket. So this one we're going to need, I want that side. I'll go with this side. At the middle. There we go. As I've still got some dark blue on there. I'll just go around the outside. So then this can just be stuck on a page and we can stick some tags in there. There we go. So we've got that tuck spot there. Nice big tag, which I think will be nice that way. I'm going to actually put this on some of my coffee dyed cardstock. Move that over. I've actually been finding the mornings really difficult at the moment. I don't know if any of you guys have got fibro, but I seem to struggle the most in the mornings. I can't physically get up until a bit later in the day. I think I might do this one as well on the coffee dyed. I'll probably do a video at some point about how I do my coffee dyeing because everybody will laugh at me. I don't do it the same as everybody else. I'm going to tell you, I'll give you a brief description. Most people, when they do tea and coffee dyeing, right, they'll do it in their kitchen or outside somewhere where it doesn't really matter. Me, I do it here. Literally right here with a pot of coffee, a paintbrush, and I literally lather it on. Turn it round, do the same again, stick it on my drying rack. Right, so we've got those there. Is this going to fit on here? Yes, it will. But we were going to do... Were we going to do the other side? We were going to do that side, weren't we? There we go. So yeah, my house was a little bit stinky yesterday because I'd got coffee going on, I'd got stains going on, I've got inks. I tend to use a variety of inks, but generally India ink, and just water it down, and then that allows me to get the vibrancy of colour I want if I'm doing a colourful page. That's how I did the pages inside this journal, is with India ink, just watered down, painted on. That's that one cut. I'm just going to let them dry a little, because if I'm going to be rounding corners and things, the glue can sometimes impact what I'm cutting. Now, as I said, we're not going to get everything done today. This is going to be a reasonably short video, but I'm likely going to be uploading a few videos this week. For a change. And I think realistically, if we can get sort of, oh, I don't know, a fair amount of the ephemera done today, then we can perhaps in the next video have a look at some of the covers that I've made and start gluing everything in to this one. And obviously I am away in the middle of August, however, I'm actually going to cut that bit off. However, I do plan on making a little video while I'm at camp, so you'll see me at camp. Right, that should have dried a fair amount now. Where's my corner rounder? I'm going to do big corners on this one because this is quite a big journal card. And the same with this one. There we go. I'll get some purple. Just ink around these a little. Now this one I think is perfectly fine as it is. I wouldn't necessarily add anything to this. Once I've made all of the ephemera that I want to make, that's when I'll start deciding if I want to add extra decorations to it. Because as I said, I'm more of a mass maker. I'm going to do this one in purple as well for a change. I'm more of a mass maker than I am individual bits of ephemera. Which you'll know if you've watched my videos before of me making ephemera. I don't just sit and make 2 pieces and decorate them fully. I'll make, I don't know, 10 to 20 at a time. And what I like to do is pull some of the colour up onto the coffee dyed, so it's not just the edge. It just gives it a bit more interest, I feel. Oh, I didn't do that side, I didn't think I did. gosh, it's gone warm again. Make your mind up with her. So this one is lovely as it is, but it could do with a little something. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to change to a different colour, I think. So I've also got this Mermaid Lagoon colour, which is really pretty. And this really pops. And I like being, oh, throw it. I like being able to do a variety of colours when I'm inking and things, especially in a colourful journal like this one. All along the same theme, obviously. I'm not going to start adding vintage photo inks and stuff. If this was a vintage mermaid one, then obviously I would. And I think that'll probably be the next mermaid one that I do, a vintage style one with older pictures of mermaids and things. Right, so that is those. Got some spare little pieces there to back things. So we also, as I said, had those, and then I got sent these in Happy Mail from Temu. I mean, I like them, but I'm not sure it fits really with this journal. That definitely doesn't. Neither does that. Maybe that one. Maybe that one. No, there's too much brown. That one will go nicely. That one would probably be okay. That one would probably be okay. Right, we'll save those for when we do the vintage mermaid one eventually. So we've got those. Now we've got all of these to back. So I say all of them, the ones that I decide I want to use to back. So let's have a little look at what we've got. We've got lots of these little ones. We've got some labels. A long one, I definitely want to use that one. Definitely want to use that one. More of these little ones. That's quite nice. That will fit perfectly. That would be okay. I think, I mean, the majority of these will look lovely in there, to be honest. And these ones I was thinking could be journal cards, or they could be little tuck spots. I think little tuck spots would be nice with those. But we'll see. I might change my mind. Maybe have... As we've got lots of purple and blue, I might pick some lighter purples to embellish them. And then this is part of an envelope, essentially. It's one of my digitals. But what I was actually thinking is if I back it with some more of this like thinner sugary paper, I can actually make this into like a folded, if I fold here, I can then decorate this bit, but that can go onto a page like that, and this can be folded in. So on the outside you'd see this, and we've got the stickers as well, don't forget. So I'd like to put a sticker down there. This could be clipped to the edge of the page with a paper clip. So you take the paper clip off, and then as you open it, there'd be things in there. I like that idea. Let's find some more of that paper. Where are you? Is this the blue? Yeah, we'll use some of the blue, I think. Now, this paper is incredibly cheap, this thin sugar paper. So I'm not overly bothered about there being waste. So I will just glue straight on to here, to be honest. I think it was like £1 for 200 sheets from the range or something silly. Oh, throwing my glue around again. And line that up with the bottom. And while I've got that there, I might as well stick a few of these smaller ones on. Now you can see there's still some white border on these, and that's perfectly fine, because when I go to cut them, I can cut the border off, save cutting and cutting and cutting again. This glue is a bit gloopy. I think it's because of the heat today. Covered in the stuff. There we are. So we've got those. A couple of purple ones. Will they fit on there? Ooh, just. That'll do. I will move that over here though, because it's on the edge. There we go. Lovely. We'll let that dry for a minute. What else have we got? Some of these big ones. Because this is such a chunky journal, and it's so big, using tiny bits of ephemera isn't really what I'm looking for. I will still do these, but I'm also aware that because it's such a big journal, I want things to have a bit of substance. I think that's the nice thing about this book of shadows or journal, whichever you want it to be, being the size that it is, because I can really put bigger pieces in. Quite often, as you know, I'll make the smaller sort of A5 size, and that can make it quite difficult to find ephemera that will fit in it nicely. And from a book of shadows point of view, having larger pieces of ephemera like this is ideal, because you can write so much on the back of these. Right. These are the ones we want to do. Fold that back over. See how many we can fit on here. I actually haven't seen anybody else. Well, I haven't looked. I might have to go and look in a minute once I finish filming who else has used this paper, because I will quite often get inspiration from other YouTubers, you know, with what they've been doing. In fact, yes, I have. I've seen one person, SevenPlaza on YouTube, here on YouTube. Dutch lady, absolutely lovely. She makes amazing videos from a craft point of view, and yeah, I think she was probably the one that I came across her video, and that was the first time I'd seen this paper collection, and I was like, right, I have to get it. So I lied there, sorry guys. But yeah, SevenPlaza. I will link her channel below if you want to go and have a look. She made a lovely journal from this paper collection. It was stunning. I don't want to fit any more big ones on there. So let's have a look in my little pile of little ones. take these sheets off. There we go. And even if I back these, I don't have to use them. I can put them back in my little box of mermaid things. Chop that one. Put them back in my little box of mermaid things and use them elsewhere. Whew, heat wave. Really, really muggy. Not a lover of heat, really not. Even before the fibromyalgia, I wasn't a lover of heat, to be honest. That's one. And I like to look at both sides because they're very different. Had I not used any coffee dyed paper in the Book of Shadows itself, I probably wouldn't be backing these with coffee dyed cardstock, but because I have, it sort of makes sense that I might as well continue. I don't really feel the need to go out and buy cardstock that sort of match this kit, because the likelihood is I'm only ever going to do maybe 1 or 2 more journals with this kit, and to be perfectly honest, I can probably dye some, paint some, you know, make my own. I didn't get round to it yesterday. I've been concentrating on doing more grungy pages and greens and things, because those are what I make the most. Neither of those are going to fit on there. No. Got a couple more of these, so we'll just shove those on there, I think. And the coffee dyed scraps of card I keep to stamp on. I do actually have some mermaidy stamps, but I'm not sure I'm going to use them. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to need one more piece, aren't we? What have you guys been making? I really enjoy hearing what other people have been making. Sorry if my head gets in shot. Especially if it's from my kits, because I make the kits that I make to use for myself. They're not really for anybody else in mind, if that makes sense. I make them because it's something that I want to use, and it's something that I haven't found in the style that I want it. The way I make my ephemera and my journal pages are simple but effective, is the way I would sort of categorise it. They're very plain, which means you can decorate them yourself, but they're also decorative enough that you can get away with using them as they are. And I've done that for a reason, because quite often, especially journal pages, they're so highly decorated that you don't really do anything with them. You print them out and then it's done. Which, you know, is fine if that's what you want, but I want things that I can edit and change and do things with. the same as these really. I could have gone to town and put text in the background and, you know, all sorts, which sometimes I do, but for an example, this as a journal page is beautiful, but you couldn't write on it very successfully. It's too much in the background, so you wouldn't be able to write on that. And a lot of journal kits that I find are like this, more decorative. I would rather have a very simple image in one corner or faded in the background so that you can write over it or around it or stick pictures or whatever. That's just the way I like things to be. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you guys think of that, because I will often struggle, to be honest. Because I'm an artistic person myself, I like to put my own stamp on things, and as much and as lovely as other people's artwork is on places like Etsy and on YouTube, it's hard to make them your own, which is why I make the things that I make, because they're very easy to make your own. Even these little pieces of ephemera here, they're so plain, but could easily be used as they are. You could add gems, you could do whatever you wanted to do, couldn't you? There's my corner rounder. I'm going to use the little side for this, if it works. It's not going to work today, is the glue still wet? As opposed to you watching me cut all of this out, as you know, I don't edit my videos. I film them as they are in real time. I might turn this one into a little tag. So for that reason, I'm going to finish cutting a couple more things, and then I'm going to love you and leave you until the next video, because we're going to be coming back to this continually for the next week or so, this journal. And I don't want you to have to sit and watch me do all of it in one go. But if I make multiple videos, then you can pick and choose yourself, can't you, if you want to watch more. And I know it's the decorating that people enjoy the most, so yeah, it'd be a bit boring for you to just sit and watch me do this for an hour, which is how long it will take. By the time I've cut all of these out and inked them and put them in the pile, it'll be an hour, if not longer. So I'll finish cutting this next one out, and then I'll call it a day. But while I've still got you for 5 minutes, I wanted to point out that the giveaway is probably going to be happening next week, because I think I'm 2 or 3 away from the 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you so much. So yeah, next week, or possibly later in this week, maybe, who knows, even the next video might be the giveaway. I'll have to wait and see. I think I'm going to do this one as a tag too. So yeah, keep your eyes out, guys. I will do a separate video for the giveaway, so keep your eyes out for that, because I will be drawing it live. Ooh. There we go. Rid of this rubbish. So not a long video today, because I've got 1,000,001 things to do. But I just wanted to make a start with you guys and show you what it is that I've been up to and how I go about doing the things that I do. I am really, really pleased with how it's coming about so far. If you've been making your own projects along with me, please go along to my Facebook page, because I really would love to see what you guys have been up to. Just send me a message if you don't want everybody to see, or, you know, feel free to post on the wall or comment on one of my posts on there, because I really do love to see what other people are doing. If you want to join up for the Patreon, that's open. I will be uploading, I think I'm going to upload some of these mermaid images, ephemera rather, because why not? I'm not going to make a full kit to go on the Etsy. This was just a one-off. The likelihood is I won't use them again once I've made the vintage mermaid journal, which is next on the mermaid list. So yeah, I will upload them onto the Patreon in the next day or so, so you guys can print them off if you want to. I'll put some on for free and I'll put some on for the paid, just so that everybody gets a little bit of something. It's only fair. There's lots of kits out on the Etsy at the moment as well. I put 3 or 4 out last week or the week before, loosely based on various witches. So I think I put Lavender Witch on, Poppy Witch, Crystal Witch, all of those sorts of things. Some of them are just journal pages and others are journal pages and ephemera that you can print and cut out. So head on over and have a little look. The big sale has now finished, unfortunately, but as you guys will know if you've bought from me before, I quite often run sales. And if you do buy from me, you end up getting a discount voucher for your next purchase as well. So, yeah, there we go. Lovely jubbly. Right, I will see you in the next video. Love and blessings to every single one of you, and a big cuddle and lick from Douglas too. Blessings.